Hello everyone, and 안녕하세요. My name is Lain. I'm from Argentina. I'm the head of startups at Crecimiento.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? I'm hearing from AKINDO.
Always something that repeats and gets bigger and stronger, and that's how the ecosystem here in Argentina is growing, and Crecimiento is key part of that. 감사합니다.
Cerveza, por favor. Something like this. Hi everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Hirin from AKINDO. Really happy to be here with you. Today we are going to talk about the Web3 ecosystem in Latin America. So how it started and how builders grow, and honestly why community feels especially important in this region. So to start us off, could you briefly introduce yourself and what you do at Crecimiento?
Hello everyone. Thank you so much for having me. We have been working with AKINDO since last year, and they are a great partner with us. And so my name is Lain. I'm from Argentina. I'm the head of startups at Crecimiento. And for you all to know, Crecimiento is a movement based in Argentina, focused on accelerating the startup ecosystem and driving tech innovation here, first in Argentina and the rest of LATAM. Historically, we have been working a lot with crypto and Web3 and also AI and frontier tech. Basically, our mission is to position Argentina as a global hub for builders, founders, and to support startups that can onboard millions of new users to crypto solutions and new technologies.
Okay, thank you so much. So where are you based now?
Right now, I'm in Rosario, but in a few days, I'm traveling to Buenos Aires because next week we are starting our new pop-up city. It's a month-long event with a lot of people coming from around the world and a lot of different days. And we also have a startup day on the 19th of March that is going to be really incredible.
Oh, nice. So you're actually from Buenos Aires or other region?
I'm from a small town near Rosario, and right now in Rosario. Rosario is where Messi was born.
Ah, really?
And yes, yeah, interesting fact. And well, right now I'm also going a lot to Buenos Aires because it's the main city, the capital of Argentina, and we are working in a lot of different fields, helping founders and startups get on the front stages.
Okay, cool. So what does crecimiento mean in English?
Yes, it means growth because our thesis is that Argentina has a great potential to growth, and if we can, in Argentina you have different interesting forces. For example, you have highly educated people, and then you had a lot of economic problems in the past, and that goes on until today. So that drove a lot of adoption in crypto, and with talented people working there, a lot of crypto companies have Argentinian people working on them, and also the founders. There's a lot of projects that were born in Argentina, like Open Zeppelin and much more. So in this take us to a great crypto ecosystem here, and we think this is a great opportunity to grow in Argentina and to make this ecosystem go further.
Okay, that's very cool. So I think you just mentioned, but what first made you want to focus on the LATAM Web3 ecosystem?
Yes, and since the beginning of my career, I have always been really curious about the startups and to help founders. So when Crecimiento was starting in 2024, I really jumped into this and to have any way possible to push this movement. And that was the moment I started working with the foundation on startups. And then I kept pushing until we get to Dev Connect. And now this pop-up city is starting next week. So we have been doing a lot of programs and buildathons, acceleration programs, and different activations that help founders go from 0 to 1 and to 100 too.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So, okay, so before we dive deeper, I'd love to talk about Dev Connect Buenos Aires. So honestly, it felt like one of the most exciting and high energy events we've seen in a while. So the vibe was incredible. So during Dev Connect, we at Akindo also hosted the Founders VC Connect. So where local builders had the chance to sit down and speak directly with global investors, face to face. So from your perspective, why do you think Dev Connect became such a big moment for Latin America?
Well, definitely built in the moment we were pushing for. Since Crecimiento was born in 2024, the closing ceremony of our first pop-up city was submitting on the forum of Ethereum to propose Argentina as the center for DevConnect in 2025. And that was like the main objective for the movement at that moment. And I'm really happy that all the community came together in Argentina and LATAM to push that forward, and we achieved that goal. In November last year, DevConnect was held in Buenos Aires, and people from all over the world, even from the other side, for example, you guys from AKINDO, we are like opposite sides of the world. You were here pushing also with the ecosystem, having the Founders VC Connect. That was incredible. On our side, we had also the Startup World Cup competition. We had more than 200 startups applying. And then we had the final that was in main stage in DevConnect with VCs like Pantera, Dragonfly, Nascent, Franklin Templeton. And it was amazing. And that was the stage we were waiting for, because there's a lot of builders and founders here in LATAM, and all we need for them is to give them visibility and then give them the opportunity to shine. So what's the best thing if we gather all the ecosystem here and we present all the founders to the community? And that's what we did. The results have been amazing so far.
Hmm. Okay, thank you so much. So actually, builders are all around, all over the world. And why do programs like Founders, VC Connect matter so much for local builders, you think? Like, especially those who don't really usually have access to global capital networks.
Yeah. First of all, there's a great gap between in developing countries and first world countries in terms of capital. So bridging that gap is one of our main goals. One of the things that make founders easier, their way easier. So giving them the stage to shine is key here, and to bring creating bridges with VCs from the US, Europe, Asia. That's key. So capital can flow into developing markets and our solutions that are real world solutions, because here in Latin and in Argentina particularly, we have a lot of economic problems that are really solved using crypto as a way for payment, saving, and much more. Even now, tokenization is key here. So and having this access to capital is key to develop these new solutions for the ecosystem.
Hmm. Okay, thank you so much. So let's zoom out for moment. Like if you had to describe the Web3 ecosystem in Latin America right now in just like one sentence, like what would you say? One sentence too short though. Yeah, you can describe.
Well, um, one sentence to describe all the
Hmm.
LATAM ecosystem. Well, I'm drinking mate, like
Hmm.
any Argentinian would.
Hmm.
And one sentence to describe the local ecosystem in Argentina, I would say that is creating real world solutions to real world problems. And
Hmm.
I think that describes perfectly what we are pushing here, because in Argentina, we lived in first hand what inflation is, how you drive through that. And crypto found a real niche, found product market fit here with the stablecoin, for example, that prove the real value here on the ecosystem for everyone to be saving, and also tokenize assets. So I think that's the sentence I would add.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Like very long one sentence. So from what you see on the ground, like why is Web3 adoption growing so quickly in this region? I think you already mentioned, but like could you explain a little bit deeper?
Yes, of course. Well, first of all, we have in Argentina certain conditions that we have highly educated people, and really a lot of people who love tech. Tech in general, for example, we are one of the countries with the most unicorns, and if you search per capita, we have a lot of them. So then you have the economic problems that we had. So if you combine those that people found in crypto, the solutions to the problems, we dive into highly educated people into a new technology that take this new frontier technology to a new level, and that's why the adoption was so high here. And that took us to develop a great ecosystem in Argentina since the early beginnings of crypto. And now our movement in Crecimiento, we aim to unify that ecosystem and unify those forces so we can push all together.
Hmm. Okay, thank you so much. Is it like mainly driven by inflation, like issues with the traditional financial system, or a lack of trust in institutions? What do you think?
Yes, I think both of them are key here. For example, with these stable coins, we have great inflation problems, and so you cannot save in your local currency. Nowadays, that problem is not so um, and it's not as big as it used to be a few years ago in Argentina, particularly. But if you want to save, people is used to save in dollars. And when there's currency controls that you cannot buy dollars, the only way out from your own money, of your country money, in this case, it was pesos, Argentinian pesos, was to buy cryptocurrencies. So we found in stablecoins a great solution to that problem. And we really, stablecoins found product market fit here in Latam and in Argentina, and
Hmm.
also new access to new tokenized assets like stocks and much more. So That is key. And also, there's a lack of respect for traditional institutions. So people is open to new alternatives. For example, if you live in Europe, you will trust your bank, for example, right? But here it's not the same. People is usually don't trust them too much. So it's people is more open minded to new solutions like new neobanks or cryptocurrencies or new solutions in general.
Hmm. Yeah, that's very interesting. So, like LATAM countries, like means there are other countries as well. But why do you think Argentina in particular has become such an important entry point for Web3 in LATAM?
Well, Argentina has some interesting landscape, and you can see that there's Argentinians everywhere in the industry in crypto, in every major protocol, and so in that way we are really well connected, and the ecosystem grows a lot. So in Argentina, that ecosystem help make bridges with all the ecosystems in other countries in Latam. So that's why Argentina was like the entry point for Latin America from founders or for protocols all around the world.
Hmm. Okay, so interesting. So do you see differences like between builders from different LATAM countries like Argentina, Brazil, like Mexico?
Yes. Well, for example, you can see in Argentina more things are related to payments and cross-border payments.
Mhm.
And if you go to Brazil, the solution that cares the most is about neobanks, for example, or also payments. But the market in Brazil is much bigger. We are talking about 4 times the Argentinian population. So it's a market that is way bigger. And if you go to Mexico, the particular part there is that they are really close to the US. So that's it's for them much faster and much easier to develop relationships with investors in America, and also to have access to better connections and talent. That in contrast, here in Argentina, we are far away. So we have
Mhm.
like our own great ecosystem.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I only been to Mexico in Latin countries for traveling. I've been to Mexico City and also Cancun, I think 2 years
Wow.
ago. Yeah,
Wow,
it was,
beautiful.
yeah,
I hope one day you can come to Argentina. You are going
yeah,
to enjoy it a lot.
yeah. I heard like the steak is very good in Argentina, so I really
Yes,
like to try there. Maybe
yes,
I can
steak
pay
and
with
wine.
yeah, I can pay with a stable coin to
Yes,
get steak. Really?
yes, that's for sure. There's a lot of commerce here, restaurants, or really a lot of places you can go and pay with the cryptocurrencies with no problem. Yes,
Oh, really?
I
That's very
just
interesting.
yes, for example, in a few days I'm going to Buenos Aires, and I just rented an apartment there for a month long, and I
Mhm.
just paid in crypto using crypto. So
Wow.
with USDC, and that's it. And there's a lot of different people onboarded and different solutions. So almost all people here have heard at least about crypto. So for them, it's not something new.
Oh wow, that's very interesting. Actually, like last time, like we also had an interview with Bruno from the Polygon developer engineer, and he is based in Croatia, and Croatia is also very open to cryptocurrency. Like everyone can use the crypto in the restaurant or shops. So yeah, that's very interesting part. So, okay, so next question. Like one thing I hear over and over in Latin America is that community comes before technology. So, why do you think like community plays such a central role here?
Okay, yes. To think about this, for example, to do a contrast, maybe in other places, you start thinking about the technology and what it can solve and how to push that technology and onboard people into that. In Argentina, the case was the contrary. You have a problem, people with a problem who start gathering together to find ways to solve that problem. And that's why communities were created, why how communities started. And when they find a solution, they really stick to it because they are used to that and maybe it's easier. So for that
Mhm.
all, later to change technologies, it's much difficult. For example, there's an example here. If you come to Argentina now is more open, but in the past, if you come here and you want to exchange pesos to get pesos and pay with cryptocurrencies. Most exchange places would accept USDT on Tron,
Mhm.
for example.
No.
Uh, and people from the crypto ecosystem started saying, hey man, you should accept on the L2s or in mainnet in other places. But people from these places who are called cuevas are not people from the crypto ecosystem. Just use the tool. They don't care about, for example, decentralizations or other things. So they started using USDT on Tron in the past when when you have, for example, that the L1 on Ethereum was really, really expensive and the L2 were not developed yet. So in that case, they stick to that solution because they were used to that. And now, now they are like opening to new options on L2s and in mainnet.
Hmm. Yeah, interesting. So, like this kind of communities, like where do people usually gather? Maybe on Telegram or Discord, or maybe are there also many offline meetups, maybe organized through platforms like Luma?
Yes. Well, communities use a branch of tools. Telegram used to be the most successful one in crypto ecosystem, but right now we are seeing like a shift. Of course, for what is event, we are using a lot Luma, but then there's a lot of use in WhatsApp too, and maybe it was Discord more for tech. More for tech specific, but Telegram continues to be the key. But right now, I think it's losing a bit of ground to most Twitter and other platforms. And that's a great question also because, for example, for our community in Crecimiento, we just launched our own platform 2 days ago, the Crecimiento platform, where you can sign up and you have the directory with all the people in the ecosystem to connect with them, and also you can access all our events and our programs. So it's a great way to have a connection and to see what's happening all around the ecosystem.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So, looking especially at like Crecimiento, like how did it grow from small local gatherings into a much broader ecosystem now?
Well, that's a really good question. We started in May 2024 with this first meetups. Like, it was just people pushing the ecosystem forward, since looking for ways to have this ecosystem in Argentina go broad. And so then it starts taking a form of a foundation and not profit that end up being the first pop-up city in August 2024. Since then, Crecimiento have grown as a foundation with a permanent team, working side by side with different protocols, doing activations here in Argentina. We always have what is called the Beat the Funnel that starts with the pop-up cities that are a month-long event. And then we have inside it the first key event of the Builder Funnel, that is the Aleph Hackathon. On the Aleph Hackathon, a lot of hackers come, people from the ecosystem, come hack, try new ideas, innovate. And then they have this little project that they can go into the acceleration season, and we have different programs for them that we run with different protocols. For example, last year we had one with Lisk and L2 from Ethereum, and with the Uniswap Foundation. And this year we are running again the Uniswap Foundation Buildathon again. So it's amazing. So you can start a project on, for example, the hackathon, then you think this have product market fit, or you like to develop that even more. So you can access those acceleration programs and go for 0 to 1 and go to the market, and then go to a startup workup. That is the final part of a builder funnel. It's a competition for all the startups in the ecosystem to show to the world where they are building.
Hmm. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, well, there are so many communities, right? But yours expanded so much. Like, how did that happen? What's your secret? So, is it because you have so many hardworking people like you?
Yeah, really, we work a lot for the community. We do a lot of things. We are always launching new programs, new activations. Now
Mhm.
the platform and doing partnership with a lot of people. Yes, I mean, we don't sleep. We work a lot, and that's see results in the ecosystem, and it's beautiful because you can say, okay, I'm tired or whatever, but then you see the results that a founder is raising money from a topic here in the United States or something like. A founder finding product market fit and hiring people, and that's amazing. And it's like a wheel. Once you start, it start rolling, and it's bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's great because a founder gets traction, and then he hires all the people in the ecosystem, and then those people want to give it back, something back to the ecosystem. So it's always something that repeats and gets bigger and stronger, and that's how the ecosystem here in Argentina is growing, and Crecimiento is key part of that.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, then let's talk about builders for a moment now. So in
Yeah.
LATAM, it often feels like projects start from real world problems rather than abstract ideas. So how do issues faced by communities like turn into actual product ideas?
Well, for example, we have a lot of example for founders who have been working on different companies or crypto startups or even banks, found a different problem. For example, it's hard to send money to X country, and what they they should start with the prototype, and then they they get out of the company
Mhm.
and start building that 24/7. And that's
Uh,
how most of these crypto solutions started, with people facing those problems and then finding solution to their own problems. And then taking part of the ecosystem is key, because you found opportunities, access founders, mentors. That's key to unlock different options, and also to ask questions to people who has already lived the problems you are facing right now. So for us, it's key to have that ecosystem develop and to have those opportunity for founders. So we are waiting for all of them who has like different they, even if they are curious of if they have a big problem to face, I'm sure they can find someone in our community that has
mhm,
faced that before, or that can have help them unlock those problems.
mhm. Okay, thank you. So in Argentina, you mentioned many builders work on payments. So what are they building the most these days, or some like what kind of things are builders working on right now?
Well, for example, payments is a huge problem here in Argentina, and so there's a lot of fintechs, and there's a lot of startups working there, and also bigger fintechs. For example, a few days ago, one of the biggest fintech here in December, when it was acquired by Netso, and that was huge. But then after that, beside that, we have a lot of startup ecosystem, startups working on payments. There's a lot of them, because here in Argentina, you have a lot of friction to do payments.
Mhm,
And if you can use crypto, for example, as a collateral, or you can use it for directly to pay to on ramp or off ramp, that's huge. And also tokenized assets. There's It's not easy to access stocks from the US or for any part of the world. So there's a lot of crypto startups that are building tokenized stocks. So you can buy on their platforms different options, and you can invest on anything really easy. And that's key for onboarding, because if you want to onboard millions of people to these new solutions and to these new technologies, you cannot teach each one of them how to use a crypto wallet. You want them to use this experience as seamlessly as possible. So the onboarding process must be easy and efficient if you want your grandma to be saving in cryptocurrency, right?
mhm. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So, then, like at Akindo, we also run a deal room and help strong projects like get funding these days.
Yes.
So I think there must be many good projects in LATAM too. So could you share a few that come to mind? Like, do you know like some good projects like just in your mind?
Yes. For example, there's EBPM, a project from founders from Uruguay, and they are currently with the team in Mexico. They have been here in Crecimiento for the Startup World Cup. They got to the final. That also was part of the program with Akindo. They were in Denver, as far as I know, and that's a key thing that we have. For example, this project that share a stage with us and with yours. So it's amazing how we also interact between each community. Here we are in Argentina, and you on the other part of the other side of the world, and that's amazing. And then there's a lot of other projects that are building a lot of cool things. For example, Berry. Berry is tokenizing access and building a Robinhood style platform for anyone to buy stocks, and that's really really cool. Then is a Piggy Wallet, for example, to helping kids and saving money using crypto on the behind the scenes. So nobody knows about it, but it's a good solution that onboards people on that. There's much more projects on DeFi working too. And it's amazing to see the progress founders made.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So yeah, as you said, like the EVVM like joined our deal room and started like actively talking with the investors and is now participating actually like participating in the Edinburgh Pitch Fest, right? And from your perspective, like what kind of support like truly makes the biggest difference for them? What kind of support do they need? What do you think?
Well, one of the biggest gap here for founders in LATAM is to build these bridges with the American, European, or Asian firms and investors. So for us to help them and mentor them on pitching, to do their deck, and supporting them on how to tell the problem they are solving, that's key. Because funding is one of the most important problems they are facing. So that's the gap we are working toward with the most of our efforts.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much. So just like going back to Dev Connect Buenos Aires. So actually,
Yes.
I wasn't there because I wasn't in Akindo at the time. But like from your point of view, like what stood out the most? Like was it the local builders or the international teams or just the overall energy of the event?
I think the most important thing was the overall energy of the event. It was
Mhm.
DevConnect 2025 here in Argentina was the most the most attended event for all DevConnect in history. So we have more than 20,000 people coming to this event, and that was huge. I mean, La Rural, the place where it was hosted, was packed with people, and the energy there was incredible. Also, was the excuse and the moment for all the builders in Latam to come together for the first time since DevConnect in Colombia a few years back. So it was amazing to see all of them coming together to one place, present their problems and their solutions, and to seek help, mentoring, and to drive the ecosystem forward all together here.
Mhm. Okay, thank you so much. So, in your opinion, do you feel like people became more motivated after the event? Like maybe people see the event and like, wow, I want to do that, in the future, something like that?
Yes, 100%. I mean, this is the opportunity where a lot of people got onboarded. There's a lot of people from different universities here in Argentina that, for example, has heard about crypto, but were not aware about what it could solve, what problems you could face with these technologies. But this event was the excuse and the mission was to onboard these people, to go to them, knock at their doors and say, hey, we are having this great event. Why don't you come here and learn with us? Learn with us. So that was key, and that was a success.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much. So I think like big events are like amazing, and but the attention like they generate usually fades pretty quickly, I think. So why do you think maybe short hackathons alone are often not enough for builders? So do you think like they need something afterward? What do you think?
Yes, of course. That's one of the things that we, for example, in Crecimiento and AKINDO, we are aligned on that. For us, short-term hackathons are not the way. That is just one thing, one event to innovate and to craft new ideas, but it's not the way. New projects are born from the long term. If you want a team to start in the hackathon, that's okay. They can craft new ideas, but then they need a way to go from 0 to 1 and then to 10, and that's where buildathons come into place because there are programs that are longer, few weeks longer, for example, or month. It depends, where they gain constant support, and we are doing that. We have been doing that in the past with LISC, with Uniswap Foundation. We are doing that in next month, and you also in Akin are doing that. So it's amazing to see this coming into place because, in my opinion, it's the best way to help founder success.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. So, but in reality, like, what do teams need to keep going after the event is over? Like more time or feedback or real users or like extra funding? What do you think?
Yes. In my opinion, one of the key things right now is distribution and shipping new products. Right now, with AI, with all the coding tools, it's much easier. It's easier than ever. So the problem is not maybe the tech, because right now it's really simplified the problem, and with a few steps you can build a really good app. So the biggest problem here is to have a product market fit, to ship this product, and to find traction. That's key. So for our side, one of the missions we have is on mentoring is to help them found a product market fit, to share marketing campaigns, to help them success and do the distribution for the project, whether it is B2C or B2B, and then also to help them on funding, because if you want to scale, you need funds, and access to VC is key. And there's a great gap between Argentina and America, Europe, or Asia. So we are here to bridge that gap.
Hmm. Thank you so much. So I have like some other question as well. So for example, like for projects that want to enter the LATAM market, so what kind of support can Crecimiento provide?
Well, Crecimiento is the biggest community here in LATAM. So if you want to come to LATAM, Crecimiento is the place to be. I mean, you want to enter a new market, you want to test with new users. Crecimiento is the way to find those users in the simplest and fastest way to try new things and to fail and try again with a new system, for example. So we are the place where everyone should come because here all the builders are, all the founders are, and all the ecosystem is driving here. So yes, we are the entry point to LATAM.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. So in LATAM, is it okay to communicate only in English, even if you don't speak Spanish? So in
Well,
Korea, many people don't
mm,
speak English well, so there is a language barrier.
well, in fact, in Argentina is the country where most people speak English in Latam. So we have, as I said, in Argentina we have a highly educated people. So most people speak some level of English. And for these events where you want to bridge the gap between investors in America or Europe or worldwide, and you want them to come here to meet founders, English is the best option. Then we, of course, we have our own programs for hackathons or maybe early stage or early hackers. Those are in Spanish, but it depends a lot of on the event. For founders who are looking for funding, English is key, and I think that works. It doesn't matter where you are. That's a worldwide rule.
Okay, thank you so much. So, for projects that want to enter the LATAM market, what do you think they must consider most?
Well, that's a good question. And let me think. For example, something I think is key, maybe in LATAM and against other places in the world, is to focus on the user experience, but in another level, more on the community side, more of building like that trustworthy relationship with the customer. And I think that's the key to enter LATAM and to buy and people's heart here.
hmm Okay, thank you so much. So let's move to the next part. So we want to talk about some trend these days. So lately, AI and like vibe coding, something like that, have been everywhere, right? So AI is very popular these days, and I also recently talked about vibe coding on X Space with Cozero. Have you tried like vibe coding, or are you interested in? Like, what do you think about it?
Yes, yes. Cloud Code is a great friend of mine. We have been building a lot of things with some friends. A few weeks ago, we went to the beach to work from there. And in our free time, we started by coding an application for agents. And it was really fun. So, yes, we use that a lot also to automate tasks. We are in Crecimiento, we are a really lean team. So, as much as you can automate, that's the best. And AI is key for that. For lean teams, AI is a key tool.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. So, what about open cloud? Like, what do you think about open cloud? It's been a hot topic lately, right?
Yes, yes, it was really interesting. It was like giving arms and legs to the AI that was existing. So that was much cooler than anything that was before, and it was amazing to see in the last few days. In the last, well, today is February 26th. We are recording this, and in the last few days, Cloud Anthropic has released a lot of new features that literally are killing OpenCloud. And I'm just expecting OpenCloud founders, just Peter, just jump into OpenAI. I'm just expecting to see what they release sooner or later. But this is like a career, a war between AI companies, and I'm really excited to see the results.
Yeah. So, would you personally consider using it, or do you have any concerns?
Well, I don't use OpenCloud. On my side, I know there's some vulnerabilities that could appear. So I'm really like take care about my personal computer that when I used to work, and I didn't have the time to like try it in another one. So I didn't try it per se, but I have been reading a lot about it. And then Cursor, yeah. A little bit, but most of all, Cloud, and all the tools from Anthropic. Those are my favorite right now.
hmm Okay. So, are you worried about AI, or are you more excited about it in the future?
I'm really excited. A lot of things could come up. I think most of blue collar shops will change dramatically, but there's a new wave here, a revolution, and we need to surf this wave. And I think productivity is going to skyrocket in lean teams. And the key right now is to know how to adapt, to use these new technologies, and to build solutions that can scale. So to make your workflows and use that. Now with Cloud Cowork, you can do a lot of that, and with agents. So that's really really cool. And also that I love to automate things. So these tools, I like those a lot.
hmm Okay. So, from what you see in your community, like, is AI changing who gets to build in Latin America too?
Yes, and the entry level have lowered it a lot because in the past, if you want to go to a hackathon to hack something, you needed to know how to code. Right now, one person can by code something a tool really useful, and that bridge the gap between technical people and non-technical ones. So now it's the time for the ideas guys who want to shift and revolutionize their industry. So this is the time to try new ideas and new things. Yes, that's key. But for hackathons, for prototyping, and to developing MVPs, right now anyone can do that just with a little bit of practice and expertise. But the gap is much lower. Then, if you want to scale, yes, you need, of course, a technical co-founder or a technical person beside you. But now you can by code a prototype to ship and try a new idea and then scale.
Yeah, so then after this kind of AI revolution, do you think more solo builders or smaller teams emerging?
Yes, well, leaner teams are key right now for because big companies. You have a lot of startups that are really lean with a small number of people shipping a lot of new features every week. So yeah, that's thanks to AI. But I think in the near future we are starting to see new solo founders using orchestrating different agents, and that's key for the future. I don't know yet any success story of that besides Peter, the founder of OpenClaw. He decided a great tool, um, but I'm sure in the near future we are going to start seeing a lot of solo founders.
Hmm. Okay, I think so too. I would like to do something, with OpenClaw as well. So this Friday, actually, I'm going to Singapore, and also I'm attending an OpenClaw event there. So I'm very excited.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? Wow!
yeah.
So you build something and then you share that on Twitter. That will be really amazing.
Okay, thank you so much. So, yeah, the next question is like, as the LATAM ecosystem like continues to grow, so how can they maintain their local identity like while still scaling internationally?
Well, I think our identity will never vanish because we have a culture totally different to other countries. We embrace everyone who comes here. For example, we are really friendly. We are open to new ideas. And something that I see here or that I personally push for is to if something works in another country and you see good results there, okay, take that idea and try to implement that here because if it results there, maybe here you can adapt that into our situation and we can have great results too. We don't need to redesign the wheel if the wheel already exists and works. So I'm not that kind of guy that, for example, thinks we need to create our own way to do things. If things works and something can improve in your local community, implement that. Don't be so proud. What matters is the result and what you get. So for us, we have our own identity in Argentina, and we are not giving that up. Whatever. So anything that we can do, I'm sure we'll have Argentinian culture inside.
Okay, so in LATAM, is there a strong startup culture among young people? So if there are like 10 university students, like how many of them do you think want to try starting a startup? What do you
Oh,
think?
well, out of 10, I would say 7 to 8. I think nowadays is the time where most people want to be founders and to be
Wow.
entrepreneurs. That's amazing. And maybe it's also the result of the lack of maybe the all the problems that we had lately with people seeing problems and wanting to create solutions. And also the new paradigm that we have right now with the success stories of founders that inspire young people to also build and ship new products. And I think that's amazing because it doesn't matter if you end up being an entrepreneur or not, working in a company, you can innovate any field you are. It doesn't matter if you are in a foundation, if you are working in the public sector, or if you are a founder, you can drive innovation there and that's what drives efficiency forward and that's what we need here in these countries like Argentina.
Wow. The 8 of out of 10 is like really a lot. Like a lot of like students
in my
they
in
want
my
to.
opinion, I would say I would bet for that. Yes.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So maybe like for people who are curious about like Web3 but haven't started like building yet, what would you be the easiest first step to get involved, do you think?
Well, the easiest step to get involved into crypto and to have to get to know everything before starting building, in my opinion, would be to go to Buenos Aires to Aleph Pop-up City next month in March, and there you will find a lot of different events and a great community. So you can ask whatever people is there. All of them are open to answer questions. So that's I think if you want to learn and do your first steps in crypto, to gather in a good community with events, that's key. And then you can start shifting new ideas on the hackathons that we, for example, we are having our own on the 2021 and 22 of March. And that's going to be huge this year. Last year, it was the biggest in LATAM. This year is going to be a little bit smaller, but in great quality with chapters all along LATAM. And that's going to be amazing. I'm really excited.
Wow. Okay. So for early stage builders, like what are things they tend to overthink too much?
Oh, well, that's a great question. Maybe one of the things that I overthink really a lot is the way they go to market, how they test new things, and the way they develop their prototype or MVP. And one thing that I see a lot is they want to polish in until the last detail of the MVP or the product before launching, so you have a great product. Until every detail. So, in my opinion, you don't need to have a perfect product. You just need to have something that leads you to learning. If you can ship whatever you can that works for you to validate an idea and to learn from that, that's key. Then you can add new features, but you need to validate learning points. That's for me what it needs to work. So you don't need to overthink your product. Just ship, and then you can add different features.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, it's different from Web3, but I also once wanted to start an online shop in Korea, but I gave up because I spent too much time just trying to make the logo. So
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
well, right
yeah,
now you have a lot of AIs tool that can help with that. But yes,
yeah.
maybe a lot of founders like has that kind of they are into details, and maybe
Mhm.
people doesn't care a lot about that. But yes, it's your problem. You want to see it flourishing since early days. So I understand that, but maybe it's hard.
Yeah.
It's easy to say, hard to do.
Yeah, in Korea, we have an old saying that starting is half the work. So,
Uh,
like I think starting is the most important thing, I think. Yeah.
it's a great saying. It's a great saying. I didn't know
Mm,
about that.
mhm. Okay, so looking ahead to the next 1 or 2 years, like what excites you the most about where the ecosystem is heading in LATAM?
Wow, that's a good question. I could think about that all day. But what excites me is the most for the next few years here in the ecosystem is the way new startups are appearing, and the builder cycles are getting smaller and smaller, and people are shipping a lot of solutions really fast. And of course, AI is key in that. In that, but it drives a lot of solutions and innovation in really short amount of time, and I think that's key. So I cannot imagine the amount of progress we are going to make in the next few years as an ecosystem as a whole, because yeah, there's a lot of problems, but also a lot of people building toward that. And I think with AI and all the new tools, APIs, and everything that all the protocols are uh, shipping, and this innovation cycle are going to be smaller and smaller, and new things will come up every day, every week.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you so much. I think like you've seen like so many builders so far. So from what you've seen, like what kind of projects do you think will really succeed in the end?
Well, I think the projects that will succeed are those working toward disruptive innovation, because you see nowadays that, for example, Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, or whatever big company release a new product and they kill 1,000 startups. So this is something I have been thinking about lately. But you need to focus on disruptive innovation more than increase innovation. And because increased innovation, of course, is good, but it can be killed easily by a new feature of a big company. So if you want to success in this market that is moving so fast, you need to create really innovation, disruptive innovation in your market, and that's not so easy. But that's the key if you don't want to get killed mid seed round.
Hmm. Okay, so maybe it's a little bit difficult question, but do you think like what is the innovation?
In innovation, you have basically two types of innovations. I love this innovation, this definition from Lean Startup book. That is, you have an increased innovation and then disruptive innovation. Increased innovation is when you add a new feature to something that increase the value and efficiency. But then disruptive innovation is when you disrupt a market. And for example, what was Dropbox at the time, for example, yeah? And increased innovation is just a new feature that allows, for example, to do just one cross-border payment.
Hmm. Okay, thank you so much. So if you could give some tips to builders, like what would they be for winning hackathon or buildathon, and after winning, what is important get funding as well?
Yes. For winning a hackathon, the first thing that I would talk about is to um, find first a great team, people who has the same goal than you to build and shape a great product and to try new ideas. That I think is key because you need to innovate. And then to continue this, I think the key is to think long term and to not, for example, think about what I can build in and ship in just two weeks and then I forget about it. No, just think about long term, and that's the way you are going to get a lot of support from the ecosystem. If you want to go to try this MVP, you are going to find people who are early adopters. If you want to make your product market fit success, you need good strategies and you need mentors. And if you think long term and transmit that vision to other people, you are going to find them. And also later is when funding is coming. But first, you need to show traction and early results.
Okay, thank you so much. So maybe like almost our last part. So before we go for our last part, I just want to ask some personal question. Like, what is your goal for 2026? Your personal goal?
My personal goal,
Hmm.
okay, is to first of all to learn as much as I can. I love learning and reading new things and thinking, reflecting, and that's great for me. And also to help a lot of founders. That's something that I love doing. And these events and this builder cycle for me are really I'm really excited about it because I get to help a lot of people, and at the same time I learn a lot from seeing their problems and connecting them with new people. So for me, that's about it, to solve problems and to learn on the way.
Okay, thank you so much. So it's more general question. What kind of person do you think will succeed in the very end?
Well,
Mhm.
well, you need to be persistent, first of all, because you are going to come up with an idea and then it's going to be killed by OpenAI or an anthropic release. So you need to be persistent and keep shipping new things, try new things, never giving up because there's new releases all the weeks, almost every day. And so, yes, you need to be persistent and to be like some kind of generalist, so you can have a broader spectrum of understanding. For my opinion, that's key.
Okay, thank you so much. So before we wrap up, where can people find Crecimiento and get involved with your community?
Yes, you can find Crecimiento on Twitter in how you say arroba this uh,
What is this?
the this is the fail moment. This how you say this in English?
Which one?
And on the chat, I wrote it on the chat here.
Mm,
I sent it to you on Telegram. Let me.
okay.
I don't
This?
remember how you say this.
This? What is this? Like et?
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
This
Et,
is
et.
the
Yeah.
perfect, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the failing moments.
Mhm,
So you can find Crecimiento on Twitter on X at Crecimiento R.
mhm.
And then you can find us. My Twitter is here, Lain Calvo, and you can write us anyway, any moment. We are here to help founders and ship. Also, if I can ask something there to you, Helene,
Mhm,
I would love to know from the conversation we had. And from example, I told you a lot about Argentina and LATAM, and what
mhm.
similarities and differences you see from what I told you to, for example, Korea and Japan.
I think like in Korea, like most of students in university, they want to get into a like really bigger company. Like for example, like Samsung or like SK or this kind of big company, they want to work there. Like rather than like doing their own startup. So I think it's like most different thing. And also in Korea, the Web3 and like crypto is like a very popular and like a lot of people buy cryptos. And also my auntie is like 65 years old. She's buying Ripple and like this kind of yeah, doing investing stuff. I think that's a little bit different from Latam area. I don't know if Latam region like a lot of old people also buy cryptos.
And maybe a few, but it's not easy to onboard them. Maybe thanks to the help of their grandson. That's I have heard a lot of stories about that, but by their own, it's not easy.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's most different, and I think I already told you the language barrier is different. Like Korea and Japan,
Yeah.
we have like Korean language and Japanese language is very strong. So I think like some international project who wants to get into like Korean or Japanese market, I think the language is like uh one of the biggest barrier. I think so. I think it's most
Yeah.
different like from Latin region.
Yes, Spanish, maybe we have the same alphabet that English, so that made things easier. Your alphabet is completely different. Even Japanese from the Korean are really different.
Hmm.
And yeah, yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know a few words, just and I don't know if I say it correctly, correct me, but I 감사합니다.
Oh
And
yes,
yes,
감사합니다.
감사합니다. And
Mhm.
안녕하세요. That's all
안녕하세요.
I know. 안녕하세요. That's all I know
Oh,
in Korean.
that's very good. I know like hola, ¿cómo estás? Yo soy Hidim.
Oh, really
Mm,
good. Really good. You
Yeah,
already know how to introduce yourself.
yeah, cerveza por favor, something like this.
That's a good one.
Yes. Okay. So before we closing, any final thoughts for builders and communities across Latin America?
Um, One final thought, I would say that it's really important for everyone to come together and to push the ecosystem forward. We have some disadvantages from our distance, maybe our own capital is not so developed. So if we come together and we help each other with mentoring and helping, that would be key to help founders succeed here and then go to broader markets and to get funded from VCs all around the world. So I think that's key, and it's something we are seeing. We are seeing founders who has success to come back to communities and to start helping others, mentoring them. And that's like this wheel that I was talking about, that once a founder success, it can help others success too. So that's key to develop the current ecosystem, in my opinion.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I think we are closing now. So it was really great having you here. So Akindo supports builders through long-term buildathons and runs a deal room and helps strong projects connect with investors and raise funding. So also please subscribe to our podcast. Bye
See
bye.
you.
See you.
Activation.